Are you seriously going to eat that? My friend froze, staring at the slice of bread in my hand. A faint green patch had spread across one corner, like a half-finished stroke of paint. I shrugged. It's just a bit of mold. I can just cut it off. But he didn't laugh. Instead, he asked a question that made me reconsider. Do you really know what happens after that? That moment sounds simple, but it opens up an issue that very few people pay attention to when standing in front of a loaf of bread in the kitchen. Because mold is not only what you can see, and what you see may not be the whole story. Some loaves look only slightly spoiled, but inside there are changes that the human eye cannot detect. So what exactly is that change, and where does it come from? This is Dictionary of Life. Today, let's explore the answer together in this series. Before we dive into today's story, you may notice a small but meaningful change. Our channel has officially been renamed from Simple Things to Dictionary of Life. We started with a mission to explain the simplest things. But as we went deeper, we realized that life itself is a vast dictionary filled with endless definitions. Dictionary of Life is where we explore and uncover the mysteries of everything around us. Thank you for being a part of this living dictionary. Most people notice moldy bread the same way I did the first time. A soft loaf sitting quietly on the counter, suddenly marked by a strange green or white fuzz. At first glance, it looks like something just appeared on the surface. But in reality, mold is not a stain. It's a living organism. Bread mold is made up of microscopic fungi, most commonly species like Rhizopus, Penicillium, or Aspergillus. These fungi spread through tiny spores that are always floating in the air around us. When they land on a moist, nutrient-rich surface like bread, they begin to grow. What you see on top is only the visible part. Beneath the surface, the mold sends out thread-like structures called hyphae, which spread deep into the food, feeding on starch and moisture. That's why a small spot on the surface can actually mean much more growth inside than you expect. Some molds are harmless in certain contexts, but others can produce mycotoxins, chemical compounds that are not safe to consume. This is why moldy bread is treated with caution in food safety guidelines. Mold is one of the oldest life strategies on Earth, and its origins stretch far deeper into time than humans can easily imagine. Scientists place fungi, the broader biological group that includes mold, at over 1 billion years old, making them some of the earliest complex organisms to colonize land and organic environments. Long before forests existed, before animals walked on land, microscopic fungal life was already quietly shaping ecosystems. In those ancient worlds, mold was not associated with food or decay in the human sense. Instead, it played a fundamental ecological role: decomposition. By breaking down dead organic material, fungi helped recycle carbon, nitrogen, and other essential elements back into the environment. Without this process, life as we know it would not sustain itself. Fossil records show fungal-like structures preserved in ancient rock formations, suggesting that these organisms were already well adapted to moisture-rich environments hundreds of millions of years before human civilization. Their survival strategy was simple but powerful: grow wherever organic matter and water coexist. Much later, when humans began cultivating grains and baking bread, mold naturally followed. It did not appear because of human activity. Rather, human food systems created new ideal habitats for organisms that already existed. Over time, people observed mold both as a destructive force and, in rare cases, as something beneficial in controlled environments. But its original biological function never changed: to break down organic matter and sustain nutrient cycles across ecosystems. If you watch mold long enough, it almost feels like it moves across bread. But in reality, it doesn't move at all. It grows. And that growth begins with something invisible: spores. These spores are microscopic reproductive units released by mold fungi into the air all around us. They are constantly floating through kitchens, landing on surfaces without us ever noticing. Bread, especially soft and moist bread, is one of the most welcoming environments they can find. It contains water, starch, and warmth, all the basic conditions mold needs to begin its life cycle. When a spore lands on bread, it doesn't immediately look like anything is happening. For a while, everything stays invisible. But beneath the surface, the spore starts to germinate, forming thread-like structures called hyphae. These hyphae slowly spread outward and downward, weaving into the bread's soft internal structure. What we recognize as a mold spot is actually just the surface expression of a much larger hidden network called mycelium. By the time you see green, white, or black fuzz, the mold has often already expanded far beyond the visible area. Bread itself plays a major role in how quickly this happens. Its porous structure allows air and moisture to circulate, creating tiny pockets where mold can grow unnoticed. The higher the moisture content, the faster the growth. Temperature also matters. Room temperature speeds up development, while refrigeration slows it down significantly, though it does not completely stop spores from surviving. Another important factor is contamination spread. When mold appears on one part of bread, slicing around it does not guarantee safety because hyphae can extend deep and wide beyond what the eye can detect. This is why food safety guidelines often recommend discarding the entire loaf once visible mold appears. In essence, mold doesn't suddenly appear on bread. It unfolds slowly, silently, and structurally, turning a simple loaf into a hidden ecosystem long before we ever notice it. When watching this far, you might naturally ask, so what exactly is the difference between mold and yeast? Why is it that both affect food, yet one is welcomed while the other is treated with rejection? From a biological perspective, both mold and yeast are fungi. They share an ancient evolutionary origin and both survive by breaking down organic matter to obtain energy. They also reproduce through microscopic structures and thrive in environments rich in sugar and moisture. At a basic level, they are more similar than many people realize. However, the way they grow and interact with food is completely different, and that is what creates the contrast in how humans perceive them. Yeast, such as Saccharomyces cerevisiae, is a single-celled organism. Instead of forming visible patches, it works invisibly by converting sugar into carbon dioxide and alcohol through fermentation. This is the mechanism that makes bread rise, allows beer to ferment, and gives wine its distinctive flavor. Over thousands of years, humans have learned to domesticate yeast, turning its natural activity into a controllable tool for food production. In contrast, mold is a multicellular organism that grows into branching structures called hyphae. Rather than remaining confined to one spot, it spreads across surfaces and penetrates deep into food, forming visible colonies. Some molds simply break down food, but others can produce compounds that are harmful to health. Unlike yeast, mold growth in food is generally uncontrolled and difficult to predict. Therefore, the key difference is not only biological, but also in how they coexist with humans. One becomes a tool for creating food, while the other is often associated with spoilage and decay. Understanding the difference between mold and yeast naturally leads to another question. What have we been getting wrong about moldy bread all along? One of the most common beliefs is simple. If you can see the mold, you can just cut it off and eat the rest. It feels practical, even waste-conscious. But this idea overlooks how mold actually grows. What appears on the surface is only a small part of a much larger network. Beneath that visible spot, microscopic filaments may have already spread through the bread, carrying not just the organism itself, but potentially harmful compounds as well. Another misconception is that heat can fix moldy bread. Some people assume that toasting or reheating will make it safe again. While heat can kill many microorganisms, it does not reliably eliminate all toxins that certain molds may produce. These compounds, known as mycotoxins, can remain even after the mold is no longer alive. There's also the belief that mold is only dangerous if it looks dark or heavily spread. In reality, color is not a reliable indicator of safety. Some molds appear light or barely visible, yet still penetrate deeply into food. Others may not produce toxins at all, but distinguishing between them without proper analysis is nearly impossible in everyday situations. Perhaps the most subtle misunderstanding is thinking that mold is rare or unusual. In truth, mold spores are always present in the air around us. Moldy bread is not an exception. It's a natural outcome when conditions allow growth over time. In the end, these misconceptions come from judging mold by what we can see. But the real story, as we've seen, often lies far beyond the surface. At this point, mold is no longer something unfamiliar. But in everyday life, what matters most is recognizing it before everything becomes obvious. Next, I'll share with you a 10-second rule to recognize when a loaf of bread is approaching its limit. First, trust your eyes, but don't just look for obvious mold patches. Pay attention to subtle changes, pale spots, uneven coloring, or areas that seem more damp than usual. Mold often begins very quietly before it becomes visible. Next is your sense of smell. Fresh bread has a mild, pleasant scent. If you notice a musty, slightly sour or earthy smell, that could be an early sign of microbial activity, even if nothing is visible yet. Texture is also an important clue. If the bread has areas that feel unusually soft or slightly sticky, that may indicate the transformation process has already begun. These signs don't necessarily mean visible mold is present yet, but they suggest that the environment is ready for it to develop. So what if you've already eaten moldy bread? For most healthy individuals, accidentally consuming a small amount usually does not cause serious harm. The body can handle minor exposure. However, some people may experience mild symptoms such as stomach discomfort, nausea, or irritation, especially if they are sensitive or allergic. A greater concern is repeated exposure or certain types of mold that may produce toxins. Therefore, if you notice anything unusual happening to your body, stop eating the remaining bread immediately to avoid food poisoning. In the end, moldy bread is more than just a small kitchen inconvenience. It's a quiet reminder of how much is happening beyond what we can see. From invisible spores to hidden networks growing beneath the surface, the story of mold teaches us one simple thing. Not everything is as harmless as it looks, and a little awareness can make a big difference in everyday life. The next time you pick up a loaf of bread, take those extra few seconds to look, smell, and think, because sometimes understanding the smallest details is what protects you the most. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more simple, science-based insights like this. This is Dictionary of Life, where everyday questions lead to deeper understanding. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.